Hello, welcome to a new episode of the show. If you can't tell, I haven't totally figured out how I'm going to format this show, but today we're going to do an extra cozy, warm episode talking about hardware, we're talking about software, we're talking about pretty much just those two topics. Really warm under these blankets, actually. I used to think that I was a poser for using software instead of hardware for the most part in my music. You know, I'd see people online with crazy setups. They got mixers big as the room, they got more keyboards than you could possibly need, racks full of effects, the whole 9 yards, and I'd see people discrediting others online for using software as if those bleep bloops weren't real music at all. Now as I'm older and I've been doing this for a while, I don't really think about that nearly as much. Software is so versatile now, it's so affordable. Like if you have a laptop or a smartphone, it's just a matter of picking what software you want to use, and I mean, you're off to the races. You can make whatever the fuck you want. We have such a surplus of amazing software tools now that you'd be doing yourself a disservice to not download 85 free plugins. Here's the thing with hardware though, and it's the secret that nobody's been telling you. It's just fucking cool. There is no substitute for the dopamine blast that is twisting real knobs and pushing real buttons. You also get that warm, fuzzy analog sound that you can't really get anywhere else. But it's really hard to get into, especially nowadays. You can find some pretty cool shit at good prices, but generally speaking, the barrier of entry into hardware is so much higher than it is for software. Of course, with hardware, the cost is somewhat justified given all of the stuff that comes along with it being a physical product, manufacturing to distribution, all of that stupid stuff. But once you start trying to fill a very specific void for a sound that you want, or like you just want that rare piece of music history, that's when you're looking at like multiple house down payments for a buzzy synth that you're going to use one time for an acid house track idea that you had after smoking a bowl at 2 a.m. Lately, I've been on a quest for new hardware myself. Not out of necessity, but more so just because I want to get away from screens more. But as I learned more about hardware and what kind of hardware is out there, I started spiraling, bro. I could see myself laying in a sea of equipment like Tame Impala, just slamming enough banquets to not think about the crippling debt that I've brought upon my family. I haven't gotten that far yet, but I have gotten a couple new toys over the last couple months. I started out by buying the Novation Circuit Tracks. It's a very budget-friendly groove box that I could use as the central hub for all of my new vices. And what did I think about it? I sold it and I bought a DDJ Flex 4.
What?
Everybody's got their dreams.
This is unbelievable.
This DJ sucks.
To be honest, I really regret selling it though. I love my Flex 4, don't get me wrong, but with the Circuit, it has such a sleek design, awesome built-in sounds. I mean, all the stuff that you can plug into it, the customization. It's a really, really kick-ass package. I still highly recommend the Circuit Tracks for any budget, really. Especially if you're into electronic music, it's such a cool tool to have. You know, at the end of the day, times are tough. I wanted to learn to DJ. I sold it and I bought a Flex 4. Sue me for it. I'll be regretting it every day for the rest of my life. Later, I bought my first MPC, something that I've wanted since I was a little kid. Got the MPC 1. It was broken, but I fixed it and it's mine now. I fucking love that thing, man. It took a bit to get used to navigating all the menus and stuff on it, getting used to that new workflow, but after some time, I did figure it out and I feel like it actually clicks with me now. I'm not an expert by any means, but I actually get why everybody's so obsessed with the thing. It's so much fun to manipulate samples in there, and there's actually some pretty damn good software instruments too. I was kind of surprised by that. As somebody that's been using a DAW for pretty much the entirety of my music career, I do think that the MPC is an awesome transition from that workflow into this. I mean, it's pretty much the closest thing that you can get to a DAW in a box. I got mine used for like $300. Like I said, it was broken. I don't really recommend that you go and buy a broken one, but at least in my case, it was as simple as just doing an emergency update and I got it back to fully functional. So if you know what to look for and you do your research, I think you can find a pretty damn good deal on one of these bad boys. The MPC is one of the most legendary samplers of all time, especially in hip-hop. I don't think that you could name a single artist that hasn't funneled those knobs one time. It really is kind of just that good, and there really hasn't been a piece of software that really replicates that kind of workflow until Koala came out. Koala is super cheap. If you skip a Butterburger one time, you can unlock all of its features, and it is such a powerful application. People make amazing beats off this app. I personally love it. It's the main thing that I used when I was on the go before I got an MPC. It's not as robust as the MPC, sure, but for the price you're paying and being able to run it on, any smartphone, it's a spectacular value. If you don't have someone like an MPC or you're interested in getting into that world, try out Koala, see what you think. Maybe it's not for you, maybe it is, and then you know a little bit more about that process before you dive a couple $100 in the hole for that new piece of hardware. I've been making a lot more electronic music lately, electronic inspired music at the very least, and because of that, I've been looking into so many different hardware synths. Bring it back around to my initial comment about hardware pricing. What the fuck is going on here? My Subaru could only dream of resale values like this. There are some really cool synths that you can buy for a cheaper price. I think the Vocal Line or maybe the Micro Freak, but even that's still a couple $100, kind of justified with how powerful it is compared to anything else in that price range, but you get the idea. I've had more success going to places in real life. I recently went to my local Music Go Round store, and I was actually really surprised at some of their pricing, but generally, you better be making some fucking bread before you think you're going to remake the Drive soundtrack with hardware. I've desperately wanted these analog sounds, but I just can't justify my Tame Impala fantasy right now. So here comes Reddit thread plugin deep dives, baby. I use Logic Pro as my DAW of choice, but regardless of your DAW, you should be able to use the few plugins I'm about to mention here for free. I actually really like a lot of the synths and other software instruments built into Logic, but a lot of presets just aren't for me or don't have enough knobs that I can pretend I know what they do when I give them a twist. In comes Tyrell N6. There are a few really great free synth plugins I can think of off the top of my head, but Tyrell has been my favorite so far. The presets here are fucking sweet, and oh yes, so many knobs and sliders. Even the Tyrell by itself doesn't quite have that analog sound in my opinion, but we do have the power to change that. You could throw on and mess with some tape delay, that's a plugin built into Logic, but why would you do that when there's another free plugin that simply sounds better? Enter Chow Tape, the free plugin that turns your stinky software sounds into warm and fuzzy analog goodness. Toss this on a Tyrell, equip the old tape preset, and listen to the difference here. Nice. Chow Tape isn't just great for synthesizers, it's also great for pretty much anything else that you want to give that extra bit of old school character to. Legend has it this plugin was made as a school project by a guy at Stanford. Like, my coolest college project was an MF Doom fan site that I made with HTML and CSS. And that shit was fucking hard, dude. Can you imagine deconstructing analog tape recorder to its absolute bare components, turning it into software, and it still sounds good, and that's just like your fucking project for the weekend? I mean, maybe it took longer than that, but you get the idea. That's fucking nuts. Okay, so now we have the sound that we want with our software, but I still am missing my knobs. So what do we do about that? Well, I'm currently still trying to find what I think will be like the best MIDI controller for this purpose of, software synths and stuff. I'm currently thinking about the Arturia Keylab Essentials line. Those are pretty fucking awesome for the price that you can get them at, especially used. But in the meantime, even my dinky MPK Mini that I've had for a fucking decade has a few programmable knobs on it that you can use to do a couple things, satisfy you, so I don't have to tell my wife that we're not getting groceries this week. The hardest sounds to emulate with software, in my opinion, are your traditional musical instruments. The built-in saxophone in Logic, I think, sounds like asshole. At the end of the day, pick your poison. You can go full hardware, you can go full software, or you can mix them up. If you ask me, I think you should start with software, and as needs come up for hardware, or you think that something will actually improve your workflow with hardware, that's when you should take the time to research and invest that thing before you buy it. I just recently bought an Alesis SR16 drum machine. Do I need a drum machine? Absolutely fucking not. I do not need a drum machine, but I found it for a really good price, and it's fucking cool, dude. It's old. It's got a sequencer built in. I mean, it's got buttons. What more can you ask for? Then I got it, and I played with it, And like, the sounds are fine. Just buy your stuff with purpose. Don't just buy it because it's sick. There's a lot of stuff out there that you can buy because it's sick, and then you're going to end up in double wide. So the software will never replace hardware, but you can find a really fantastic balance between the two. And that's just as much me giving you advice as it's me telling myself, I don't need it, I don't need it, I don't need it. This is me from a later time. If anyone has a Korg Minilog XD they are willing to sell me for a fair price, I will do something dark. I will do whatever it takes. Both hardware and software serve a purpose, and there is some overlap. It really is a matter of what works best for your workflow, what inspires you creatively, and what you're actually going to come back to at the end of that session. There are guys and gals with MPCs that will absolutely push it to the limit, and there are people that have a cracked copy of FL and they're on their high school laptop and they're making something just as sick. As always, make what you think is hot. Do what inspires you creatively. I'm going to get out of this blanket now because I'm sweating a lot. I dropped a new song. Listen to that, please. New videos soon. Bye.